The Luxor was supposed to be humanity's triumph, Earth's first diplomatic outpost in neutral space. A gleaming orbital station, it had stood as a symbol of peace between the fledgling Terran Federation and the Hivarii Consortium, an insectoid empire spanning hundreds of star systems. But the Hivarii did not believe in peace. Captain Erik Cole learned this the hard way. The betrayal. It began as a routine day on the Luxor orbiting Keeler Prime. Erik, a veteran of humanity's first war against the Dresk, oversaw station operations with quiet confidence. Trade delegations had been arriving for weeks. Talks were progressing smoothly, and tensions seemed, finally, under control. Then came the explosion. The attack was sudden and brutal. Systems went dark. Security walls shattered under electromagnetic pulses. Hivarii warriors, their chitinous forms gleaming like obsidian, swarmed the station. Captain Erik Cole, the Hivarii overmind's voice crackled over the station comms. It was a cold, buzzing whisper that crawled beneath the skin. Your kind were never worthy of this place. You were but an experiment in diplomacy, one that has failed. Before Erik could respond, the bridge erupted in chaos. His crew fought valiantly, but they were outnumbered, slaughtered, their bodies dragged away by the insectoid invaders. Erik himself was taken, bound in thick organic resin, and dragged to the maintenance levels of the station. The overmind left him there, half dead, alone, surrounded by the corpses of his comrades. Die slowly, human, it sneered. We will turn your precious station into a monument of your failure. The awakening, but Erik Cole was not dead. As the Hivarii pulled back to their new command hub, Erik clawed his way free from the resin prison. His hands bled, his body screamed in protest, but rage kept him moving. Left to die? Huh. He rasped, his voice echoing in the empty corridors. Big mistake. The Hivarii had underestimated one thing. Erik knew the Luxor better than anyone. He had overseen its construction. He knew every deck, every bulkhead, every maintenance tunnel. The station was no longer a beacon of peace. Now, it would be his weapon. The Hivarii's arrogance would cost them dearly. Erik dragged himself to the engineering deck, bypassing security overrides with shaking hands. The power core hummed softly as it came into view. He grinned through bloody teeth. Time to wake up, girl. The Luxor stirred to life as Erik began rerouting systems. Oxygen feeds were redirected. Environmental controls reprogrammed. Doors were overridden and turned into traps. Security drones, long dormant, were reactivated, but under Erik's command. And then he went to war. The death machine. It began slowly. Hivarii patrols noticed lights flickering on the lower decks, and when they investigated, they vanished. The first squad was sealed into a maintenance bay as oxygen drained away, leaving them clawing at the walls until their shrieks fell silent. The Overmind dismissed it as human malfunction, but the deaths didn't stop. A group of Hivarii engineers walked into a cargo bay. The massive doors slammed shut behind them, and the artificial gravity spiked. Their bodies were crushed into the deck. Warriors moving through a corridor tripped an automated turret system Erik had repurposed. They were torn to shreds by gunfire. Drone swarms, armed with welding lasers, began hunting the Hivarii through ventilation shafts, cutting them apart. Soon, the Overmind realized the truth. Erik Cole was alive, and he was the one killing them. This cannot be. The Overmind roared in fury, its voice echoing across the comms. You are but one human. Erik's voice crackled back through the station. Yeah, well, you should have killed me when you had the chance. The Overmind's forces scrambled to regain control, but it was too late. Erik turned the Luxor into a labyrinth of traps, a hellish maze where every step could mean death. Hivarii warriors stalked empty halls, only to be ambushed by automated drones or lured into rooms where fires ignited and vents spewed toxic gas. Erik hunted them, one by one. He became a phantom, slipping through maintenance tunnels, planting explosives, and picking off stragglers with scavenged weapons. The Hivarii began to panic. Warriors turned on each other, driven mad by the silence and terror. In one final act of defiance, Erik wired the Luxor's core to overload. The Hivarii, overmined, desperate to escape, fled to its shuttle. But Erik was waiting. He hijacked the station's comms once more. Going somewhere? The shuttle's engines failed as Erik cut the power remotely. He watched the overmind scream in rage, trapped in its cockpit, as the Luxor and all of its enemies were consumed in a blazing fireball. The aftermath. Rescue ships from Earth arrived days later, responding to the Luxor's distress beacon. They found Erik Cole sitting on a piece of wreckage, battered but alive, surrounded by floating debris. Captain Cole, one of the rescuers, said in awe, "What happened here?" Erik looked at the burning remains of the Luxor and cracked a weary grin. Peace talks went south. Epilogue. News of Erik Cole's actions spread across the galaxy like wildfire. To humanity, he became a legend, the man who turned a peaceful station into a death machine and single-handedly wiped out an alien invasion. To the Hivarii, he became a name spoken in hushed tones, a ghost that haunted their kind. They would remember him not as a man, but as a warning. Never underestimate a human with nothing to lose.